Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of The Flash, and it was the pilot episode. And I must admit that I have been highly anticipating this premiere, and it did not disappoint. I enjoyed it very, very much. We know that this is a spin off from Arrow, and if you all know my reviews from last season, I really, really, really enjoyed Arrow last season. So I've been looking forward to this. And like I always tell people, I'm not a real big comic book person, but I knew going into this series that I enjoyed Barry Allen's character on Arrow. And when I heard that there was going to be a spin-off, I was very excited. Now, I don't know what happens in the Flash series, so please don't give me any spoilers if you do know what happens to all these characters. But I did like how they set up all of them. I liked that we got to meet everybody at Star Lab, and I liked the chemistry between the detective and Barry, and Iris and Barry, and even the people at the lab. I thought that there was some good chemistry with all of them and Barry. I thought it was a really well done pilot. I think that they had enough of a backstory. They gave us enough intrigue as to what might lie ahead for us coming up in the upcoming episodes. And they made it a good what I liked was they made it so that the crime of the week had to do with somebody else who was a metahuman, and that obviously there's going to be a lot of these coming forward in the future because they have no idea how many people were affected by what happened 9 months prior at Star's lab. So, we know that Barry comes out of a 9 month coma, and he seems fine. And all of a sudden he realizes that he's got these weird things happening to his body, and he is like super fast, and he can speed around like a speed of lightning. And he's freaking out. So he goes to the people at Star's lab, and this is when they explain to him that, yeah, this is kind of what happened to you. We don't really know how many others might be like you, but we need to study you because your genetic makeup now could be used for many, many things. And I thought it was very interesting that the main I guess creator, inventor of Star's lab, Harrison, was in a wheelchair when we first see him after this horrific event that happened 9 months ago. But obviously that is all a ruse, because by the end of the episode we see that he can stand up, he can walk, and he seems to be functioning quite normally. So clearly he's lying to all those that he works with, which would be Caitlin and Cisco. So I'm very interested to see what happens with that story. Obviously, we can tell from this opening that Barry Allen has a crush on Iris, who is his best friend, who he basically grew up with once his mother was murdered and his father was arrested and put in jail for that murder. And I like the reveal, when we see him working in the lab, and then he pulls up the little board and he's trying to figure out what exactly happened, because when he was young, 11 years old, there was this crazy thing that happened in his home, and there was like a strike of lightning, and he saw all like this flash and this bubble, and his mom was in there, and he believes that whoever was inside that with her is the person that killed him. But who's going to believe that, right? He even tells Detective Joe West, who is Iris's father, this exact theory, and he doesn't believe him. Who would? Well, it's not until the end of the episode where, this criminal that they've been looking for, who they all thought was dead, is still alive, and he can control the weather. And of course, Barry comes to save the day. And it was really cool how he reversed the hurricane. And then what I really, really, really liked was that the reveal happened right away between Barry and Joe, because, we don't want him to have to lie to the people that he loves for the entire season. And obviously, the father doesn't want Iris to know, which is fine. But, I'm glad that Joe found out. And I like that moment when they both were just on their knees and kind of looking at each other. And it was kind of like a nice little father-son moment, but even though he's not his father, but he's raised him since he was 11 years old. So I really enjoyed that scene. And then again, the scene at the prison between Barry and his real father, I thought was perfect. His name was Henry, and apparently he played the Flash back in the day when it was on TV. So I thought that it was really cool casting that he made him the father of the new Flash. So that was actually kind of sweet. And that scene in the prison was perfect. And when he says, "You didn't kill mom, you know that I know that, right?" And it was just well acted. The delivery, that whole scene, I thought was great. So obviously we've got the little twist that Iris is dating the other detective. I believe his name is Eddie, and we'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, I thought I really enjoyed all of the scenes. Like, sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know if the scene really works. Some of the special effects were a little not great, but that being said, they're trying to obviously do some really cool creative stuff here. And I think that they handled it quite well for, I'm sure, a budget that is not very big. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you thought of the pilot. I will definitely be watching this every week. This for me will be must-see TV. I'm not trying to tape this, watch it a day late. So hopefully I can give you guys a review every week. And you'll leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of this week's episode. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll see you next week.